Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and today, you can see the title, we're talking about an unstable man or woman. A woman, a doubtful person, is unstable in all their ways, right? I was thinking, putting the title, like, don't be doubtful, don't be unstable, don't be double-minded. A double-minded woman or man is unstable in all their ways. But it works on us more. I was just feeling it. You can feel what the title feels like, before I'm set to speak on it. Because if someone just tells you, do this, you're like, oh, okay, thanks, And then there's that part of you that wants to push back against it. Because we're still humans. We're in a human body, and we're flesh and blood. But we're souls in a human body. And so when you recognize yourself and know yourself more as soul, I'm going to sit in the sun, then you realize you have a lot more power than you thought you did when you just thought you were human flesh. It's true though. So let's go back to the saying, a double-minded man or woman is unstable in all his ways, all her ways. And guess how I had to learn this? So I've been a psychologist for over 20 years. So I got my doctorate even before that. So I went to school for forever, and then I've been practicing. But, more than that, because you can find people that are psychologists and good, if they've been disciplined in their field and learned a lot in this field. But if they're not practicing presence, then, all of their training could go to waste, in a sense. But let's just learn what it is, okay? So what I'm getting at is I had to learn this from something in my life, and I give this to you. I want you to be equipped, because when you start noticing, wait, why do things feel so shaky and unstable in my life? I'm doing everything I can to make everything, to eat healthy, to exercise, I went from a size 12 or 14 to a size 2 or 4. So I lost 10 sizes, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It does matter. It's something. It's adding discipline in our lives. But what happened was it was just getting so painful to keep feeling unstable. Someone was finally saying, they reminded me of that verse. It's in James. St. James wrote it, who was like the brother of Christ, or a cousin. Sometimes they just call them brothers, if they're close relatives. Back then. He wrote, when you ask for wisdom, and ask and do not doubt, because one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, tossed and turned, and you lift yourself up, and you're like a boat that's going back and forth in the water, tossed about. That person is unstable in all their ways, right? Here's the giant tree that I always love. So how do we ask without doubting? How do we, and what does this do in our life? Okay, so when we ask and we're doubting that it's going to happen, then we keep creating problems in our life. We keep creating, oh, I forgot they're going to do that right there. We keep creating this feeling, right, that everybody else is unstable. If If I'm always lying, then I experience other people. I think they're just going to be lying to me as well. If I'm always stealing, I'm always assuming that other people are going to be stealing from me as well, that they operate the same way, and you don't realize you're doing this, right? And so there are ways we take that we don't even realize we're stealing. Let me say what was coming to me in there when I was in a relaxed meditative state. I just want to give you guys everything every time I make a video, and so I have to just gather my thoughts and be present and know that what needs to come out today will come out today, right? Don't doubt. And so what I was seeing was, okay, here's one of the things. This morning I was seeing there's this verse that says, you know, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, which is like this tiny seed. If you ever look at the grocery store, you can buy mustard seeds. It's this tiny, tiny seed, but it makes this giant tree, you know? And so we can be deceived. There can be the enemy of our soul or whatever, these negative thoughts from childhood, our programming that say you're not anything and your contribution isn't anything, and you don't need to change anyway, because who are you? You're nothing, you know? And so we can have these negative voices, but it's like, but it was reminding us that no, the smallest seed can go in the ground and make a giant tree that birds can live on, and that gives shade to people and love and fruit, you know, feeds so many people. And so that's a lie. But the egotism is always in lack. It always thinks it doesn't have enough. It always wants more. It always tries to get more in its own ways. And so, let's see. Hold on. I saw a vision just now of a little girl. And it's like, I was just being honest with the divine love, with God, about the struggles that I had before, where I kept going back and kept going back and kept going back and kept surrendering and kept surrendering. You know, you have this monkey on your back, this one problem, this one area in your life that you keep going back to, and you don't understand it. You know, you don't understand, why do I keep going back to that? I don't want to do that. I'm willing to let this go. I've tried to let this go. You know, step one in AA is like, came to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. You've asked God a million times, please take this from me. I don't want this in my life. I don't want to seek for happiness in this way. It doesn't work. It's leaving me miserable. It's leaving me feeling rejected over and over and over again. It's leaving me feeling just like childhood all over again. I'm so sick of this feeling. If you get this, what I'm saying, like this, put a heart, whatever, wherever you are, comment. You don't have to comment if you know, you can be like, my brother was feeling this way. You know, I know it's hard to comment sometimes on a psychologist, you know, post, because you don't want to show other people your problems, but I'm sitting here laying it all out before you guys. So that's one way you guys can contribute, right? And share this, you know. And if you're on YouTube, then put the notifications on, because YouTube doesn't send out my videos right now. They've sent out like 3 of my videos, and I got like 40 subscribers one time when they sent out my videos. So I know they're good, even though just a few people are watching them right now. You know, I have to just keep acting in that without doubting, you know, and keep going, whatever. I'm going to keep serving the people that are showing up, and more people will show up later or not. It doesn't matter. But so you know what I'm talking about when you keep trying and trying makes you tired. Look at the word TRIED and tired, TIRED. You got one foot over here, one foot over here, and you keep doing this tug of war within yourself. And it's because, all right, let's go to the bottom. The root of this is because you don't know your worth. You don't know your worth. Let go of that thing. You don't know that if you let go, you're going to be caught because you weren't caught in childhood. So there's all these ants on me. You assume you're not going to be caught. And so you're doubting. You're actually doubting. And that makes you unstable in all your ways. And you're double-minded. That's what's making you unstable, is because you keep going, okay, I'm going to trust God. The divine love is going to fill me in this area. And then it's like, no, I need to go back to this thing and try to squeeze milk out of a cow that has no milk in it, or how to try to get water out of a well. It looks like a well. It looked like it had water before. It doesn't have any water anymore. There's no water in that thing. That water, if a person is not connected to divine love, then it's going to run out. And so whatever you take from that source, you're stealing in a way. Like we're all connected in a way because we're souls in a human body, but I saw like, it's kind of like God was revealing in my heart what was being done, because I remember asking a wise, holy type person, right, that I trust, a man, and that's a big saying for me to come to that place. And I said, I've tried so many times to get rid of this, and why isn't God just taking it away? And he was like, he is. Watch, he is. It's like layer after layer after layer. As I kept willing to surrender it and kept feeling like a failure, but keep going, I'm willing to surrender it. I'm willing to surrender it. Make me able to surrender it. Take this from me. Take this from me. Lo and behold, there's more and more ways. And I finally was just like, no, I'd never, ever, ever want to go back to that thing. To some kind of toxic way of relating, some kind of toxic relationship, which it's like, I've worked a lot with people with eating disorders. They can't just go, I'm never going to eat food again. They have to establish a healthy relationship with food. We want to be sober in all things and not let anything else run us, and this just felt like it was a not sober area in my life because I kept going back. But what I was going to tell you, so for yourself, is I was given this vision just now, like 5 minutes ago before this, of a little girl that kept going back to her parents over and over again and saying, please, 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 will you finally love me? Will you recognize that I'm worth loving? Will you stop rejecting me? Will you stop hurting me? Will you stop turning me away? Will you protect me? Will you treat me with worth and dignity and kindness? And so, we're not going to make fun of that little girl. There's nothing wrong that she wanted that. There's nothing wrong that she wanted that. There's nothing wrong that I wanted that. I just kept going back to someone and something and things that looked like my parents, that looked like they were going to fill that up. But they don't have the capacity. They don't have the capacity. So God sort of takes you out into desert places, and how did this person say it? They take you out to the places where it seems like the resource you need is completely lacking, like these people that Jesus was teaching out in the wilderness. They came and got healing from him and teaching, and he was teaching them. But then they were out of food. There wasn't food out in the wilderness. It wasn't a city where they were making the bread and stuff. And so he said, what do you have? And he takes the loaves and the fishes and he multiplies them. And whether you believe that or not, I've seen so many things. So I understand how something like this could happen. I'm part Native American and I've talked to, anyway, I don't need to go into that, but is you see it in your own life. You see where your scarcity is most, and instead of going back to a physical thing, I just made a reel last night in the middle of the night with someone had a Bob Marley quote, and I just turned it into a reel, and he said, money is nothing. God is important. Air is important. Money is nothing. It's the same idea. You trust in these things that are physical, that you think are going to fill you up, and they keep you addicted. Yeah, he said money just enslaves man. When it's the love of money that's the root of all evil, not money itself. But when you put your trust in that to fill up this emptiness that you had in childhood, instead of just going to God with your seeming lack of resources and saying, divine love, God, help me not to be double-minded, because when I'm double-minded, when I keep going forward and backwards and forwards and backwards, I just exhaust myself, and I keep repeating the pain of my childhood. You keep repeating the pain of your childhood, and you're worth more than that. You're worth more than that. And so I keep doing my meditation every day. And I keep, and at first I didn't think I had time to do that, or what was this? This is stupid. But it's a discipline that you add in your life, and it changes things, Your psyche knows for an hour a day or whatever that you're committed to being quiet, to not being pulled here and there and going to the old addictions. So that seemed like nothing, but if you put a marble in a jar every day that you did that, pretty soon your jar would be full of these colored marbles. You'd see how much it's impacting your life, just like my working out impacted my body, because I was committed to that. And so be committed to your sobriety. Be committed to just being aware, taking time to be aware. Why do I keep going back to that one thing? What am I trying to get from that? What is the emptiness that I'm trying to fill? How can I trust more that the divine loves me and always really wants me to have freedom now, wants to break me free from these things? Will offer me every resource to take hold of the resources in the classes. And I have over 500 videos, so you can watch all of those, because all of those, well, watch the ones that you're led to, but all of those are about getting over this and coming to a deeper rooted understanding of how to know love on a higher level. That's what I'm offering always, because I don't want people to be stuck in the pain that I've been stuck in. I don't want you to feel ghosted in your heart, I want you to know love and freedom. And so willingness is way higher on the scale of consciousness than depression and anger and pride and all these things we were in before. Willingness to go, I am the divine love servant. Let me just be a vessel for love.